Senator Ted Cruz had a great idea. He wants to build a wall, especially in his state of Texas. Going to need Arizona, New Mexico, and San Diego. But if the funds aren't going to be there, he's got a plan B.
There he is right there on your screen. We're interviewing him this morning because your plan, Senator, is called the El Chapo Act. What is this?
Well, as you know, the Democrats are threatening a government shutdown because they're so opposed to building a wall. They're so opposed to finally securing our border. And so I've been trying to think about how can we get this done? How can we build the wall even in the face of Democratic obstruction? And so yesterday I filed the El Chapo Act that provides that if El Chapo is convicted, the famed Mexican drug lord, the estimates are that his criminal fortune is roughly worth about $14 billion. Wow. Now, coincidentally, the estimates for the cost to build a wall range from $14 to $20 billion. And so my legislation provides that if those assets are forfeited, those assets from El Chapo will go directly to building a wall and to securing the border.
And that way, if you did that, then Mexico would indirectly wind up building the wall. That's pure genius on your part.
Well, true enough. And look, El Chapo led the Sinaloa drug cartel. And these drug cartels are the ones that are crossing the border. They're smuggling narcotics. They're engaged in human trafficking. They're engaged in murder and extortion and are violent criminals. And there is a sense of justice, a sense of this is what's right. To say the people who are violating the border like crazy, we should use their ill-gotten gains to finally build the wall and to finally ensure we have the assets to secure our borders.
How can you secure his assets? I mean, does he have this like in a bank account, $14 billion?
Well, they are scattered worldwide, but the government right now has extradited El Chapo from Mexico, is proceeding with a criminal prosecution. The first step is to convict him. Once he's convicted, the government is seeking the forfeiture of $14 billion, and the government will go and prove where the assets are and go forward with forfeiture following a conviction. And ordinarily, that money goes to the Treasury for certain specified uses. Border security is not among those uses. So my legislation is very simple. It says El Chapo's assets, and for that matter, any other drug cartel whose assets are forfeited, their money would go to building the wall and keeping the border secure and keeping the country safe.
Senator, I know the president's already tweeted out that we're still going to build a wall. Don't, trust me on that. But he wants $1.2 billion out of this budget to start it. How do you explain Senator Chuck Schumer saying that's a non-starter? Why does it mean so much to him to not do this?
Well, it doesn't. Schumer doesn't care about the issue, but there is a radical left base that right now has Senate Democrats terrified. It's the reason a couple of weeks ago that they filibustered Neil Gorsuch, the first partisan filibuster of a Supreme Court justice in history. And Chuck Schumer's left-wing radical base is demanding that they oppose everything. So I think Chuck Schumer and the Democrats want a shutdown. I think they're trying to provoke a fight. And Schumer's just trying to put more and more unreasonable demands, trying to force a shutdown to appease those who want total resistance, total opposition, who don't want the Trump administration to succeed.
Senator, I don't know that the wall is a good idea because apparently in the last day or so, Nancy Pelosi said that the wall will take food from babies and cause dirty air and dirty water.
Nancy Pelosi is a whole special kind of... I'm just going to leave it at that.
Have you talked to the president about this plan, and what was his reaction?
Listen, we've had very good conversations with the White House, with the president, and we're working cooperatively with the president, creatively, trying to figure out how do we accomplish the objectives that the president ran on, that I ran on, that Republicans across the country ran on, and we're working with the White House every day trying to get those objectives accomplished.
Mexico says that they're mad. They're going to might put a tax on Americans coming across because they're so mad that this has been brought up before. What's your reaction to Mexican lawmakers?
Listen, it has long been good politics in Mexico to engage in some anti-Americanism. There are wonderful people in Mexico. In Texas, we deal with Mexico every day, and they're wonderful people in Mexico. But look, politicians are politicians, and so it's not surprising that there's some who are trying to take advantage of the sentiments. We got to solve the problem. And the problem, I spent a lot of time on the border down in Texas and Mexico. The border is not secure. But even in a couple of months, illegal immigration has dropped over 50%. That's the difference of enforcing the law.
All right. Thank you, Senator, for being with us. Great.